On a cold yet sunny day in the early days of December, I set off to explore a few hidden wonders in the southern English county of endless treasures, Dorset. Despite making several videos in the county by this point, it's an area that I feel I would never see everything that this county has to offer, with its history being so vast. So join me today as I tick off a few more gems off the list, from tiny churches, ancient pre-Christian sites and hidden chapels in the magical land of Dorset.
And how are we, everyone? It's good to be back. So, who remembers back when I started this channel? I put a focus on the smallest churches around the country. I did the smallest church in Somerset, smallest church in Wiltshire, smallest church in Cornwall, smallest church in Devon, and as well as all that, the smallest church in the whole of England, the Guinness World Record holder. So I never got round to doing any more because I sort of I put the focus away from that and the channel sort of went, a different way, I guess. But I never got around to doing the smallest church in Dorset. Well, that's where we are heading right now. In a very rural part of Dorset. Well, say rural, there's a main busy A road just beyond that field. You can hear it from here. But this is tucked out of the way. It was difficult to find a parking spot. But okay, here we go. You can see the church in the distance there. Footpath. Footpath to the church. Look at that. Lovely rural location. Right. Okay, let's go through the field. Let's explore. So here it is, St. Edwald's, here in Dorset, in rural Dorset, smallest church in the county, and one of the smallest in the whole country. Now, this building here is said to be 15th century. However, it is dedicated to an Anglo-Saxon saint. This chap here, St. Edwald. So with that, this could make the church, well, even older. There could be a church here for at least 1,000 years, making this Saxon in origin. And as you should know, I actually love my Anglo-Saxon history, so yeah, we're stood in a place of worship that has been used for a very long time. And even prior to Christianity, there had been a quite stunning eatery outside, but we'll get to that. So this has got a very rustic feeling to it. It's all whitewashed. I'm not the biggest fan of whitewash, but the simplicity of it gives it that sort of calming atmosphere. We're in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, I had to park my van a bit further up and then walk, and then obviously, as you saw, through that field. And then it's right next to someone's house. I mean, it makes you think that you're on private land and you're trespassing. It's got quite an interesting altar here as well. Is that like an offering bowl? It's almost like some sort of pagan altar, the bowl and the candles. There's the cross. So yeah, this has all got the sort of charm and characteristics of a Chinese church that I just love. And as you can hear the reverberation of my voice and the echo. So it's still used as a place of worship, just not very often, and as you can see, wouldn't exactly fit many people. I would still say my favourite tiny church that I've been to, at least, is St Brenno's in Somerset. Absolutely adore that place. But this is still a very special, very charming little church here in rural Dorset. So as I said, this is dedicated to St Edward. And this is actually, I'm not sure if I've said already, but this is like the only church in the country that's actually dedicated to St Edward. Edward was an Anglo-Saxon saint and a brother of St Edmund. Let me tell you a bit more.
St Edward was a son of King Athelwerd of East Anglia and the brother of St Edmund. Not much more than that is known about the saint, other than he allegedly left East Anglia for Dorset, which then would have been West Wessex, after a Viking invasion in 870 AD. This proved to be a tragic time for him, as his brother was captured by Viking invaders and tied him to an oak tree and was ordered to renounce his Christian faith and revert to heathenry. Edmund refused and was shot dead by multiple arrows, then beheaded. That's just scratching the surface about what happened to St Edmund, but for now, I'll turn the focus back to his brother, St Edward. After the death of St Edmund, St Edward was next in line for the throne in a kingdom of East Anglia, of which Edward refused, as he wished to live his life as a hermit and headed to Cerne Abbas in Dorset. Edward came to Cerne Abbas as he allegedly had a vision to go to Silverwell, which is where I originally went when I did the Sunnunos to St Catherine's Way in Dorset with my good friend Jen of the YouTube channel Cross and Coombe. The story goes that he purchased bread and water from a shepherd, and as a thank you, the shepherd showed him the well, where he is said to have established a hermitage. The Silver Well is said to have been linked to several saints, as it's currently under the name of St Augustine's Well, and has also been referred to as St Catherine's Well, with the rumours that St Catherine's Chapel was originally here. There's a lot of mystery behind this well, which is pagan in origin, with who was it used by and why. Nevertheless, there is no words to describe how holy and special this well is, to the locals and to the rest of the English people. He is said to have lived in a primitive hut in the hillsides above the well, living off just bread and water, and performed a number of miracles. One miracle of great significance is when walking on the hill surrounding Cerne Abbas, he planted his staff into the ground, and the dead wood miraculously turned it into a living tree. This leads some to believe the Cerne Abbas giant is actually depicting St Edward, who lived in these hills, with the club in his hand actually being the staff that he planted. What do you think? This icon you see here is very special, and one of the only icons on St Edward you'll ever see. It was hallowed on the St Edward's Day service in 2015. You can see he's holding a model of the current church, the well, the silver pennies he used to pay the shepherd, and the hut he would have lived in, and the hand of Yahweh bestowing a blessing on Edward. This is a saint, like with most Anglo-Saxon saints, that has some very fascinating mystery and history surrounding him.
Right, and before we have a look at the exterior, I just noticed in the visitors book, that's prior to me, the last entry was on the 23rd of November, and it's now the 2nd of December. So they don't get visitors very often. I mean, prior to that, you've got 23rd, the 20th, 18th, 17th, 15th, 13th. So yeah, it seems like every other day, or every once, maybe twice a week, they get visitors. So yeah, this is a great place to go if you just want some, quiet time in history. Enjoy the tranquility, enjoy the just embracing it, absorbing it when you're completely on your own. So, again, that's always a plus about these rural and small churches. Yeah, let's have a look outside. So this porch was put here a bit later, I think 17th century. I'll double check that. But anyway, look at these graffitis all along here. I always love medieval graffiti, but just any sort of historic graffiti, you know, it really adds a really personal touch to all the churches you go to. Because obviously we know people have been coming here for centuries, but when they've actually like left something to say that they were here, it just adds that bit more magic to it, you know? So I really love that. So trying to make out what this is. We've got WB. WB. Is there any dates around here? Apparently, somewhere there is a date. I can't seem to find it. Is there anything on the other side? No. See, that's the date of the porch, 1636. So that's when this porch was put here. I think that's like the newest addition to the church. Yeah, that's really cool. And yes, see where the bell is, and you see that there's that face there. I think that's really cool. Don't know who that's supposed to be or who it's meant to represent, but I like it. So, yeah, walk around the church. There's only a few headstones here. These four. So, have a look at any dates. Oh, it's completely worn. I can't make out any dates on that or any of them. Let's have a look. Very worn out. So, must have been. Oh, here we go. What's this? Died 1812. Okay, so that's been there for a while. So yes, this church is right next to this lovely little stream. And yeah, we can really see how out the way we are. Look at this. But yeah, look at this stunning yew tree. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, this is like one of the highlights of this visit. It's huge. See, you know the church has been here for at least 1,000 years, but this yew tree would have been here before that. Most likely. So, it goes to show this has been a place of worship for a very, very, very long time, predating Christianity, more than likely, as is often the case. So, yeah, look at that. Very special place for English history and, you know, English spirituality. Love it.
After I had spent some more time immersing myself in the magic of the churchyard, I set off to my next destination. You may remember that I originally put a poll up on my Telegram and YouTube pages about what you want to see next, and a majority of you wanted a mixture of church crawling and stone bothering. So, I jumped back into the Wessex wagon and headed south to enter further into our ancient past. Yeah, I knew it would start raining when I go to see the stones. The sun is coming back out, mind. Sorry if dropping audio because I had to put my external mics away because they're not waterproof. So yeah, I've been wanting to go here for ages because going by my research, there's 4 surviving stone circles in Dorset, and I've already been to 2. So yeah, let's make it 3 or 4. So I'll get the 4th one ticked off hopefully next year, because there's a lot of history surrounding the 4th one. So yeah, I look forward to sort of diving into that. So again, next to another busy road. So we're going to be putting up with a lot of traffic noise, I'm afraid.
But anyways, let's head on to the stone circle. Okay guys, sorry about the traffic noise, but this is 9 Stones Circle. Previously, in the past, it's been known as 9 Ladies Stone Circle because local folklore has it that these 9 stones were once 9 ladies that turned to stone from a curse by the devil who was lurking in this area. Which is actually a very common story for stone circles. But that's a similar story for Stanton Drew, near Bristol. Yeah, and then these, as always, these stone circles don't disappoint. I mean, this one's huge. This one's huge. Look at the size of this beast. You can see this little bit and that little bit have been used for like to place candles and what have you on it. So yeah, this is a very special place for like, yeah, anyone into prehistory, both the historic side and the spiritual side of it. And yeah, not much I can really do about that though, guys. All the stones are that visible. There's, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one was hiding. I was like, where's the 9th stone? I was counting 8. So what's really interesting is this hasn't actually been excavated. So it's pretty like untouched in comparison to most other like stone circles around the UK. Yeah, and right now, yeah, even despite the very busy main road right there, you're still getting that really euphoric aura of you know, embracing the past in your hand, you know. That main road, that busy main road, doesn't spoil it, so don't be put off by it. You should definitely come here. Now, what's really quite fascinating is that through these 2 stones, directly north is Stanton Drew Stone Circle. Directly north. Literally, basically in a straight line. If you keep going, you will end up in Stanton Drew. Now, is that a coincidence? No, of course it's not. There's a fundamental reason why this is a line with Stanton Drew. Why? Of course, we'll never know. But Stanton Drew, I think it's like it is the second largest stone circle in the world, next to Avebury. Very significant place. So yeah, like I said, this is directly, you go walk that way, directly north, you can't make it up, it's like a straight line to Stanton Drew. Very fascinating. There's lots of magic and mysticism about these stone circles, and the mystery of it plays a massive part in that. It really does feel amazing to be here. It's nice and clear now, no rain, so I could have probably got away with bringing my external mics, but never mind, sorry guys. Anyway, let's head back to the van, the Wessex wagon, and I'll tell you about the next destination. Let's go. How we doing? Right, yeah, it's nice and sunny now, so cool. Yeah, so the next place, see, about 2 months ago, I
I got a very nice email from a subscriber who, basically emailed me to say thank you for the channel. He realised what I do, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, in the email he recommended a church that's in Dorset, and I really like the look of it. And when I was planning out today, it turns out from here it's only a short drive away. So I thought, why not add it to the list? And this person in question is now actually a YouTube channel member, which is awesome. So yeah, thank you very much. You know who you are. I mean, I won't say who you are because I don't know if you want me to say, but your name is going to be in the credits at the end. Anyway, so yeah, that's really cool. That was really humbling. So yeah, thanks to this guy, I now know what this church I'm going to go to. So yeah, guys, like, any suggestions, please email me. My email is in the description. On the channel information thingy. So yeah, let's head on to this really quaint, small, rural church. Right, one thing I was worried about is where the hell do I park to get to this place? Okay, yeah, it's down there, down the bottom of there, but oh god, where am I going? Private road, no parking, car parking available in New Church. Where's that? Hang on. Yeah, I don't know. It's not down there. Could try down here to see what's here. Nope, this just goes nowhere. Hang on, bear with me, folks. Let's try again. Oh god, this is always the stressful part. Authorised vehicles, new church and parking. Alright, I just seen the sign for new church and parking, but is that really how far I gotta walk? No parking, driveway in constant use. Well, I can't park down there. That's the church is down there. Right. Alright, there was a sign saying new church and parking that way. I don't know if you can see, that says old church, it's a coast path, but yeah, it says this way, new church and parking. But how far away is the parking? That's what I want to know. How far away is this church? I just had a quick look on the Google and I couldn't see it. I mean, even this far, we're already like a walk. Right. I'll have a look, guys, and I'll bring it back. Right, okay, so this is the new Fleet Church. We want to go to the old Fleet Church, which is like, that way, so it's going to be about a 10-minute walk away now. So, tell you what, I mean, I put my van there, because this is where it says we can park. So yeah, park my van there, so I might as well, when we're done with this next church, just come back here and have a quick mooch. And that's sort of sign here. Parking top end of the drive, not on the grass. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I didn't park on the grass. Yeah, so yeah, that's New Fleet. So at the bottom of all this
it's where I want to be, so let's go for a walk. Right, we are now about to approach it down this nice little street of cottages. What a lovely place to live. And we are actually right next to the sea, like right next to the sea currently. The southwest coastal path is just beyond that. But anyways, yeah, and the fact that it's so close by the sea, sort of it's part of the significance of the story behind this this church. So yeah, here we are. Let's go. Right, here we are, Old Fleet Church, here in, well, the remains of the old village of Fleet. What a charming little place, and really rustic. The things that really sparked my interest when I saw the pictures of it was these, like, what, I don't know what material that is, but also obviously it's been protected. So I thought that was really cool. I don't really know what's going on there. It's all this, it's hard to read all this because for one it's not very clear and you've got this bar in the way, so I'm trying, it's hard to make out what that all says. It's, yeah, there's another one over here. Let's give you some close-ups. That's really cool. Again, they obviously want that left alone. And a more knackered one there. Now, you're probably thinking, hang on Joe, that church you went to earlier, wasn't that the smallest church in Dorset? Isn't this church smaller? Yes, however, the difference is that St Eadwulf's is part of a parish. And this is not, this is actually a mortuary chapel. So it's not the same sort of, doesn't function in the same way St Eadwulf's would. So, and there's a reason why this is so small. You should see, this isn't the original size of the church, because it was actually much bigger. So let me explain. So this church is actually recorded in a Domesday book, as you'll see here, 1086. So that's only 20 years after the Norman conquest. So there very well could have been a church here. The church probably has been here longer than that. Could have been here prior to the Norman invasion. So back in 1824, there was a very, very vicious and violent storm. As I pointed out already, we're very close to the sea here, very close. Now this great storm was incredibly disastrous for the counties of Dorset and Devon. And it killed over 100 people. So, this church suffered greatly. This, that we're standing in now, is the remains of the original chancel. The chancel, this chancel is 15th century. The church itself would have gone further back. And that is what's in the Domesday Book from 1086. So that church we saw that apart by, that's the New Fleet Church. That was basically the sort of parish church that replaced this one, of what we will have a look at shortly. But These are my favourite sort of churches. Small and rustic and isolated. As you saw, it was a pain trying to find time in the park. You can tell they don't get many more visitors. In fact, when was the last visitors? I would say 15th. They haven't had a visitor since the 17th of November, and it's now the 2nd of December. And they're all spaced out. 15th, 9th, 8th, 29th of October, so yeah. Very peaceful, calming place indeed. Something else that might interest you, when I was looking, when I was looking up information about this church, there's a 1898 novel called Moonfleets by a guy called John Mead Falker. And yes, this church is mentioned in that novel. So yeah, I'm gonna have to dig that book out and have a read. So yeah, this is the interior, guys. We'll have a look outside in a minute. I've heard there's some very, very old graves outside, so I'm quite intrigued, but yeah. What a lovely hidden gem this is. Right, let's have a look at some of these graves and see how old they are. I mean, 1860. So yeah, that's pretty old. That's completely worn, can't make anything out on that. But 1902. And what we got down here? What we got? I'm just looking for a date on this one. 1899. So yeah, that one to 1860. Yeah, thinking about that is actually very old. We've got this small one here. And what's this? Oh, very, very hard to make out. Nah, not even gonna try, guys. Sorry, that is very obscured. And 1892. Oh, they got some little offerings on here, look. Oh, he's 17 months old. Bless. But yeah, look at that from here. And one thing I noticed as well, you see it's still getting battered by the wind, because if you look up there, you'll see what was supposed to be, I guess, a crucifix. The top of it has been blown off, so it's like a headless cross. I mean, like I said, you can see the sea from here. We're right by it. Right. I do have my drone with me, but it's windy. So I doubt I'll get any drone footage of this, but sorry about that. So, I always have the worst luck with drones. And yeah, I wonder what was put there and put there before. Yeah, let's walk all the way around it. Yeah, this is the back of it. A couple more graves. Again, that's too obscured. That's probably very old. And this one again, the text is very obscured. Wow, look at that though. What a very charming place. Right, what a treat that was. Thank you again to the channel member who suggested this beautiful little hidden gem, because I would have never known about it otherwise. And like I said, it's right next to the Southwest Coastal Path. So if you are doing that path, that trail, why not just pop in here? Because that's yeah, just down there. Right, anyways, let's go back to that New Fleet Church. One little quick nooch before we end the video. Let's go. All right. So this is a New Fleet Church, and yeah, it feels very new. So this is like a couple hundred years old. Definitely hasn't got that sort of ancient feeling that has in the old Fleet Church. Oh, why have we got a American flag? Yeah, but still, it's not bad. There's the main nave, and yeah, like I said, it's a lot blander, but like the newer church generally are. The pulpit. So, yeah, this is basically the new sort of parish church of Fleet. And a cool little font there as well. Wonder how old that is. But anyways, so let's have a look outside. Huh, you couldn't make that up. Literally, as soon as I walked out, the church warden walked in to say that they're closing it up. I was like, I'm done. Brilliant timing. So yeah, little graveyard yet there. Again, it's new, but it's still really nice. But yeah, if you're gonna come to Old Fleet Church, remember park here, the New Fleet Church, and yeah, why not have a little mooch of this while you're here. Okay guys, that's that for this video. It's been a really fun day out. You know what, I really needed that. Lately I've been really busy. I haven't really been doing much of the Western Snowman stuff. I've been working a lot on my personal music and just other endeavours in general. But yeah, just give you doing this again. I really needed it. So guys, I'm just about to hit 3,000 subs, so please subscribe. Get me up to 3,000, that'd be great to end the year on that. Get me above that. If you're new here, spread the word. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. I always really love that. I always like interacting with you guys. And back to what I was saying about channel members, it's really important, okay? There's a Patreon, and you can sign up to a channel member, whichever you prefer. The proceeds help massively, okay? Now would be a good time to do it, because I'm trying to like sort of push the channel now. Well, I'm always trying to push it, but next year even more so. Remember, I have a buy me a coffee where you can just leave a £5 donation or more. I also have a PayPal where you can donate as well. Anything helps. Remember, with Patreon, there's a £1 a month option. Okay, you would not notice £1 a month going out your bank account. And yeah, it all adds up, guys. So there are perks. There are Patreon and YouTube members only videos. You get access to a private Telegram chat where you can talk to me personally, among other things. So what are you waiting for? But yes, until then guys, until next time, thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. For sale.